Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network. Yo!
Oh my God!
Yo.
That was the craziest
Yo!
It's YoMMA Rap with Louis J. Gomez and Dave Smith.
Yo, 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 we are back. Dave's a hack, and he's whack. Yo.
That was your most hurtful rap yet.
But it was the most flowing.
And it was pretty on point. I am a hack.
It was the truth, and I was flowing.
I had a little spark a few years ago, but it just fizzled.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, you gotta do. Welcome to YoMMA Rap, presented by Yo Kratom. Yo Kratom, the number one name in Kratom. YoKratom.com, home of the $6 kilo. Go support them and everything that they do as they support us.
That's right.
Dave. Welcome back to the show. I am the Puerto Rican Rattlesnake, Louis J. Gomez. He is Comic Dave Smith.
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
Chilling, man. Just getting ready for the holiday, my friend.
Yeah, it's Christmas week.
It is Christmas week. I call it Christmas week, WEAK, because that's how my bank account's looking right now, doggy. Wow. It doesn't stop. It's never ending. I just keep on spending money, and it just never feels like it's enough. And what am I trying to fill in myself that I keep on just purchasing gifts for my family member?
I don't know, emptiness, lack of love. But it's just like, it is something about the holiday season. And I got crazy. I got like my wife's birthday and my daughter's birthday and my nephew's birthday and then like a couple other
James's
family
birthday's
members.
coming up.
James's birthday. Everyone. You got to get everyone something.
Yeah.
And then I'm furious about just finding out I owe more money in taxes than I thought I did. Just
These are all adult things, guys. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear the adult talk.
guys. It's awesome.
Yeah,
we're going out on a yacht party this weekend.
I wish, dude. I wish I had a yacht.
Yeah.
How much is a yacht? How much is it? How much?
I'm pretty sure they're very cheap.
No.
100,000.
Vic, was that you?
Yeah, I said 100,000.
What happened to what happened
for one of those
what
crazy
happened-
ones?
The Undertaker sound. Remember? Come on, Natalie, get on point. You're
You said it's 100,000? I thought it was much more than that.
Hold on.
For like a small, like decent one that
Thank you.
not like Putin's yacht, that he has
Yeah.
out there somewhere.
100,000. You get
like
like a Ford truck for $100,000.
Can you
A
please
yacht?
look up yacht prices?
Well,
gotta
I
be
have a
more than
Ford truck,
100,000.
and You are way off on that one, Dave.
But
Where are you, man?
Well, you have to hire a captain.
Wait,
right?
what was I way off on?
On like the Ford truck, 50 max if you get like a really decked out one.
No, right now,
No, you could spend a lot
dude,
more
a
than
Ford
50 on a real-
F-150 is $100,000, Vic.
Yeah.
A nice one?
Really?
Yeah, if you're
I gotta
getting a
look
nice
this up.
one, you're getting it like decked out, at least close to 100.
The Sunseeker Superhawk. How much is this bad boy?
All the ones here, you have to ask them how much it is. They don't
Contact
want
for
you to know.
pricing.
Oh my
Hey,
God, that's more than $100,000.
we're interested in doing a podcast about this boat.
No way.
What does it cost?
That's nice. You need a captain. Like if you have a limo, you don't drive your own limo. Now you gotta. Now you have
It's not super baller if you buy a limo
Yeah.
and then you have to drive it.
There's an employee. You have to also hire an employee.
Oh, okay. Here's some prices.
6,000,000, 5 million. Vic, you are so off with your yacht pricing.
Hold on. For the low end, which is what I was doing, it starts at around 100,000. They go up to like 10 million if you're like Putin
So Vic's
or
like,
somebody crazy.
hey, you guys want to come back to my yacht party, girls? You go, yeah, my yacht's worth $20,000.
Type in cheapest yacht possible. That's what I want to see.
just so you can say
I want a
you have
cheap ass yacht, dude. Look, that's wild, dude.
You want
$6 million.
to split the cheapest yacht ever? We could probably
Facebook
pull that off.
Marketplace for yachts.
Every time I go somewhere, I'm just such a poor piece of trash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I want to live here. I went to the Poconos with my girlfriend, and I was like, dude, I could buy vacation property in the Poconos. Then I started looking up the prices. It's so cheap, dude. We should buy vacation property in the Poconos.
All right.
The Poconos. You can't take the trash out of the kid, boy.
You really can't.
It's giving us low end 300,000.
Let me see. Can we see the yacht that everybody did for $300,000? Because that's not terrible.
This is just a guide to how much yachts cost.
That's not a $300,000 yacht. Give me one for sale, $300,000. I want to see it. I want a virtual tour.
I'm telling you, I read about this the other day. About 100.
This one on the left.
$250,000. Look at this. All right, go to the $300,000 one. 2021.
It looks
2001.
Oh, it's an old ass yacht, dude. This shit doesn't even got a computer on it,
But
dude.
it is. I'll tell you.
This has an
nice.
old compass. This has a Nazi compass right on it. Let's see the inside.
I'm sorry, I was trying to think more close to your wheelhouse. I was trying to give you something realistic to shoot for, not like Oprah level.
No, but this isn't Oprah level. This is 300 grand, but it's a cool looking boat.
If I owned this, I would say that I'm a baller.
Yes.
I would literally be inviting whores onto my yacht, like my yacht. I'd pronounce every letter. I'd pronounce yacht.
It's crazy though. Even like luxury on a boat.
Look at that.
Still kind of sucks.
No, that rules,
Like,
dude.
hey, want to curl up on this shitty bed with this
Yeah,
13-inch TV over here?
That
It's a
that is
TV
that's how
VCR.
you can really tell how old that yacht is by the fucking TV that's in the wall.
Yep.
It's not great. It would still be pretty fucking cool though.
It would be very cool. Boats are a lot of fun too.
Oh my God, I love
my
it.
father-in-law has a boat, and it's just
He married a good
it's a lot of fun to take out, man.
Your father-in-law sounds like a real man.
I love.
He's
yeah,
building
the
your
best.
studio. He's got a boat.
He's yeah.
Does he think you're a little bitch? If you were the one who married my daughter, I'd be like, look at his fucking soft hands. You don't drive. You never done a goddamn thing with your hands in your life, Dave. What's the manliest thing you've ever done?
What have you done?
What have I done? I'll tell you what I've done.
No,
done
he
more
is,
than you, man.
He
You're
is a
manlier than
real. I don't know. He is a real man. He's much manlier than both of us. He'd probably on some level thinks we're both girly.
Not me. He would meet me. He'd be like this. He's like, I get it.
No, he listens to the podcast and he always talks about what a faggot. you
No,
are.
dude. He's fucking.
does.
He's very impressed with me. It's manly the way that I am.
Oh, okay.
You know.
No,
I'm more manly than you, Dave. Unquestionably.
maybe
You
I
may
don't know.
be a lot of things than me, right?
Well, that's undoubtedly true.
Maybe you're a couple things. You're fucking more learned. I'd say, yeah, that's really it. That's it. More learned, not smarter, not cooler. More learned.
All right, sure.
Do you play Wordle?
Just
No,
take it.
Do I play Wordle?
you don't play Wordle.
I don't play Wordle.
I'm on a
That is pretty manly of you.
93-day streak.
That's
Just
the
so you guys
manliest
know.
thing I've ever heard of.
That's the 93-day streak.
Just spelling words like man, testosterone.
There's 5 letters in Wordle, you dickhead. Don't.
I don't play Wordle.
All right. So look, let's. What's been going on in the world of MMA this week?
Well, there was the end of the year event.
Yeah,
There was good fights.
it was solid. I didn't really give a shit that much, to be honest.
All right.
I was out in Toronto. I ended up watching some of the fights, but it just wasn't. Look, it just wasn't a big banging end of the year card that you're sort of expecting.
They
They should end the year on like a fucking crazy
and
card.
they used to do that pretty regularly. It was a little weird. They just had a huge pay-per-view, and then it was just kind of like, oh, there's a fight night,
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. They were good fights. Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland's a really good fight on paper.
Yeah.
It ended up not being like a crazy fucking fight.
Super
but
close split decision.
Very close.
Yeah.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah.
Who did you?
Yeah.
No, you didn't?
I did.
Who? Okay, you didn't. Yeah, it's a very close fight. I honestly couldn't have said who won.
Can we edit this? Dave is cutting me down.
Well, you couldn't. You didn't even lie effectively.
Oh, do it
You're
again.
You're
We're
an
gonna-
excellent
we're gonna-
liar.
we're gonna edit this.
I know
Go,
if you
go.
want to lie,
Edit,
you can
edit.
lie.
Make an edit note. All right, try it again.
Okay. Did you ever cheat on your baby's mother?
No, do not that. Ask me the question about.
Oh, I thought we were just testing out.
Piece of shit.
Oh, I was just setting you up to lie and
Okay,
really
no,
sell it.
okay, I'll really sell it this time.
Okay, fine. So you watched the fights this weekend?
You know I did.
All right. Well, obviously this guy watched the fight.
Oh, you know I did, baby. Whoa, did I?
Who did you think won the main event?
Ooh, Cannonier.
Yeah. Did you? Okay. Vic,
I didn't watch it. I did not watch it. I was in Toronto. Shout out to everyone that came out in Toronto. I ended up watching. Before I left the hotel, I watched Drew Dober versus Bobby Green. I watched that live. I was really into it. And then when I got to the venue, I was just like, I just couldn't get to. I just didn't give a shit enough about the other cards in the event to like make it my thing in a green room to set up a fucking computer to watch.
Understandable.
Yeah. But talk to me about it.
Well, let's
what was-
talk
what was
about the
great?
fight you watched. That was a great fight. Drew
That was
Dober,
a
Bobby
dude. That was a
Green.
great fight. First of all, Bobby Green always in super exciting fights. Doesn't matter. Every fight he's in is great.
I love Bobby Green.
And
He's one of
Dober's
my
funny. He was
favorite
dude. He was
fighters.
sort of lighting Drew Dober up, right?
He was wrecking him, outclassing
Yeah,
him.
just really unorthodox striking, coming from different fucking angles, hands down by his waist. He was wrecking Drew Dober shit, and Drew's just tough as shit, granite chin, and he can just put you down. He hits like a fucking truck, dude. And we saw the same thing happen in the Terrence McKinney fight. It was actually
both
almost a
Drew
similar.
Dober's last two fights.
It's not that McKinney wasn't fucking him up as much as.
Well, McKinney landed like bombs on him.
Yeah, it
and
was
had him
more- but it was a lot
seriously
more
hurt.
back and forth.
No, but McKinney had him seriously hurt.
Yeah.
Was dominating. But this was a little bit different where, Bobby Green was picking him apart, outclassing him, like out-techniquing him at, just huge speed advantage and just got caught. I love Bobby Green. It always felt to me like he was this, like the MMA gods seemed to almost just not be on his side. Like he always kind of was like right there at breaking through, had several decisions that I thought he won go against him, and had several fights like this where it was like, oh, this was a fight for you to win, and it just didn't, just happened to get caught.
Turn the volume down a little. Fine. There we go.
Just got caught. Yeah. But he was doing, through the 2.5 rounds, or the round and a half, there he was looking phenomenal.
Yeah, he was. He was talking shit. It's a shame that he didn't win because he was talking shit about, or maybe it isn't a shame. Maybe it's actually probably better for him because they're more likely to make the fight now, right? Because if he beat Drew Dober, there was no chance of him fighting Paddy Pimblett. But now Paddy Pimblett's got a big old fucking target on his back because he's not like Khamzat, who it's like he has all this hype, but it's like, oh, what is the path to victory there? It's like I just don't.
No, everyone wants to fight Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah,
now, 'cause
everyone's
they're
like, oh, I could beat this guy.
Well, Paddy Pimblett also.
But did you see what Bobby Green said about Paddy Pimblett? Trying to pull
No.
up that quote, dude. He lit him up. He was like, he's not even a professional fighter. He was like, I would fucking eat this kid alive. And he likely would. But I think if he beat Drew Dober, Paddy the Baddy, they got to give him a winnable fight. Like, they're not going to give him, maybe look at him to try to crack the top 15. If you look at 155, look up there, maybe those rankings as well, and see who's in the top 15.
The top 15 at 155 is fucking killers, dude.
Yeah.
Killers. Yeah, Paddy Pimblett also really kind of like turned himself into a heel with the way he handled his last fight.
And
it rubbed a lot of people.
People did not like the Ariel thing. They did not like the way he handled the.
Look at this fucking division. This is just. It's as it usually is.
Let's go to the bottom. Let's go to the bottom. Not the bottom. Top 15. Let's go to 15 down.
Got to be clear.
There we go.
Got to be clear, Lewis.
Joel Alvarez. I couldn't point him out of a crowd. Armand Sancturian. Doesn't he play drums for System of a Down?
He does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jalen Turner. Yeah.
Jalen Turner would fucking wreck Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah. The reality is I don't know enough about any of these guys to talk about it. So, but I'm looking at like the top 10. Like, yeah, when you start getting into the Michael Chandlers of the world and the Dan Hookers of the world and the
Dan
Justin
Hooker.
Gaethjes of the world.
Think about Dan Hooker.
Light Paddy Pimblett.
Think about what Dan Hooker would do to Paddy Pimblett if they fought. He's better than him in every single area. There's not even like one area where like, oh, Paddy's got an advantage here. There's nothing. He's just like outclassed in every area.
What was the Bobby Green quote? Do you have it? You do? Pull it up, please.
By the way, so everybody's going after Pimblett, including PFL and Bellator fighters. All of them say he doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. He is just now this hated person among
it's
fighters.
pretty crazy.
Well, it's also
with a weird. I think people will still like to see him. You don't have to. When you have this enigmatic thing about you, right, and you have the it factor, right? It's like Conor. Conor plays a heel well. Paddy can go from being heel to babyface. Bisping did it, right? He went from heel to babyface. People still wanted to watch these guys fight, right? So, especially the whole like the brash British sort of like attitude and that swag. He's not losing any fans doing that necessarily, but it does feel like he was everybody's like, it was like he was the darling for a minute, and then everyone started like trashing him, saying he's not that good, but it doesn't mean people aren't going to want to watch him fight.
I agree. He's still got that like it thing, and he's still got people, he's the center of attention still. Look, even the fact that he's just getting called out by all these guys is like pretty insane.
Yeah.
Just again, like I've said before, and I like Paddy Pimblett, and I fucking have nothing but respect for all these fucking fighters. But, it's just there's this glaring difference when you talk about like, oh, Conor McGregor, Michael Bisping, Paddy Pimblett. It's like, however you feel about Michael Bisping and Conor McGregor, they were amongst the absolute best in the world. They were, and always were throughout their career.
Also, look,
he's just
very,
not.
very, very different guys, right? So Michael Bisping, look, Paddy Pimblett, that career, it's a long fucking path of like getting to the top, taking a tough loss, like really, you remember how many times Michael Bisping came like one fight away from fighting for the title, and he lost split decisions, got robbed. I mean, not to suck Bisping's dick, but this is the fucking reality. The reason that Bisping ended up turning everybody over and getting everyone to become fans of his, because it was such a fucking tough journey to the top, and he was like an everyman. Everyone was like, holy shit, this guy through hard work and grit,
Right.
Willed his way to the fucking title, and he wouldn't say no. He gave his eye, he gave parts of his fucking body for it. That story, I mean, it's almost like a Rocky story. You have to give part of your fucking life in order. Like Conor McGregor didn't do that. Conor McGregor didn't have that. Conor sort of was like, he struck lightning in a bottle, or the UFC did, I guess, with him, and it was like, a much different thing. So Paddy is sort of going the path of Conor. It looks like that. It's like this just sort of momentum in this moment. And if he were able to capitalize on it like Conor did, Conor had this moment. If Conor would have lost to Aldo, Conor would have lost to fucking, what's his name, Alvarez. If he would have lost in these big moments, against the best in the world, by the way, he fucking starched the best in the world. Paddy is barely getting by
The unknown guys.
unknown dudes. So we're like, you're talking about like it's a very strange thing.
But it was
'cause
also
he's being
like-
pushed like Conor, but he's gonna almost have to have realistically speaking, they just got to slow the roll a little bit because he's gonna come into some tough losses.
Well, there's
against-
almost no way. There's no way to do it, because if you slow the roll too much, you kind of can't really build up and maintain this thing. And if you go even at the appropriate pace, he's just going to get exposed sooner or later. The thing also with Conor McGregor, if you remember, as it was going, it kind of like, with each step, it was like, oh shit. Like it got bigger and bigger. When he fought Dustin Poirier the first time and he knocked out Dustin Poirier, if you remember the thing that Rogan and them were saying at the time when he knocks him out, they're like, Conor McGregor is for real. Yeah. So that was almost like the first step where it was like, oh, this isn't just a guy who's talking trash and knocking out lower level guys. He just like knocked out a real prospect who's like a real guy. And then it was like another one. And then he fought Chad Mendez, who had fought for the title twice and was like for the interim title, and he fucked him up. And it's like, oh, now he's the interim champ. Then he sleeps the fucking, you know what I mean, the goat of the division. And then it's like, and it just got bigger. How does Paddy make this thing get bigger and bigger?
Yeah.
It's
The
not
problem
eking out a
is-
split decision that most people thought he lost.
And I think he's got like 4 or 5 losses outside of the UFC. It's like, there's some issues. What was the Bobby Green quote? If we have it. Natalie, do you have it up? Please, let's see. Beautiful.
It was easy money.
Let's see. I actually think he's an amateur fighter. He's not even a professional. He's an amateur. He doesn't belong there. That was those are harsh words for Bobby Green.
I think things would be different if Meatball McCann didn't leave Paddy Pimblett for a woman. if I have to say that, he hasn't been the same since.
Meatball McCann also taking a hiatus after her very tough loss to Erin Blanchfield, who is from my hometown.
Oh, look at that. It all comes back to you.
There you go.
I think that I think Bobby Green's being a little unfair there too. I also don't think it's true that Paddy's an amateur and doesn't belong here. Like, he belongs here. He's won, what has he won? 3 in a row in the UFC? 4 in a row in the
3, I
UFC?
think.
So okay, so he belongs here.
Yeah,
It's
and these
just
other guys aren't
it's
making
just
their
to have-
UFC debuts.
Yeah.
The problem is he's just
for the amount of hype, the discrepancy
and he's
between
just
the
struggling
talent
with
and the hype.
But here's the thing, also, like maybe the UFC, and I don't fault them for bringing him along slower. And also, it's not even like Sugar Sean. Like Sugar Sean, they really slow rolled him. Now he's getting some bigger fights, right? But Sugar Sean, like that was sort of the knock on him for a little while. It was like, oh my god, all the hype, and then they're slow rolling him. But Sugar Sean, the reason I think people are saying that was because Sugar Sean is starching people. He's starching the lower level guys. You're like, okay, dude, fight somebody at a higher caliber. And I think from his perspective, he was saying for a while, maybe he's has a new deal now, but he was like, dude, I have like a low level contract. He's like, why am I going to go against the top dudes in the division? I get paid the same amount of money if I beat a guy who's ranked 15 or if I got a guy who's ranked 3. So I'm building a name for myself. And once I get a better
that's
contract,
understandable.
In a weird way, it's respectable. When I first heard it, I didn't love it. But after even just saying it now again, I'm going like, it's actually probably a smarter way to handle your career.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I think the point you touched on is the key one. It's like the hype over him was that he was wrecking guys, wrecking them, and then like that's where that shit builds up from. And then, of course, ultimately, what just happened is he got the biggest test of his career.
You just gave me a cold coffee, Coop. I'm gonna punch you in your head. Come here, come here. I'm gonna punch you right. I'm gonna punch you right in your fucking nose, right in your nose.
He doesn't know your culture.
He does it on purpose. Thank you, Undertaker Vic. This is crazy. It's freezing. Is it freezing? Yeah, come here. Let me punch you right in your nose. Come here, Coop.
Coop is I like Coop. He's not a good drink guy.
That's crazy.
It's been clear. He got you a
Who would have thought a guy
Slurpee-sized
hired
whiskey.
to handle board and equipment would be not be good at drinks?
He's.
I mean, did he get hired to be a bartender?
Hey, I would be very good at drinks if I could leave the computer.
Yeah, it's because you just
Don't generalize about all bored people, Vic.
something about breast milk or vagina juice. I don't know, lesbian stuff.
You could just say I drink a lot. Like that's
Drink a lot
that's
of-
fine,
I don't
too.
think breast milk is a particularly lesbian thing.
It would be if I was
Cancel
a woman.
culture has hit YoMMA.
Cancel culture is it YoMMA rap?
Well, so you didn't even watch the main event.
Shut
so
up.
I don't know what
Shut up,
here,
bitch.
Vic, let me ask you, Vic, who did you think won the main event?
I thought Strickland did, but I didn't think it was like that big of a deal to kind of throw a fit about it.
Yeah, he's very
I mean-
he's being a bitch about it, I think, right?
Really? What happened?
I don't know, but he's very pissed
Is
off.
he
about
tweeting
it.
about it, or was it like in person? Was he freaking out?
I don't
in the
actually
cage?
know. I was just speaking out of my ass. I saw someone tweeting about how he's being a bitch about it. and I'm
He's
just
going
assuming
after
it.
the judges. He's saying the judges don't know anything about MMA. They're allowed to judge, and people are just kind of.
There's one
giving
judge
them
that's
the old
under
yapper.
like under investigation right now, right?
That's with Patty Pimblett. Yes, they
the
they don't
Patty
like
Pimblett
that guy.
judge.
They think he's the one that messed that whole thing up.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was I had Sean Strickland winning, but it was very, very close. So I don't think there's anything. You know, the truth is that it seemed like Sean Strickland was fighting a fight to come on strong in the end, and Jared Cannonier would kind of fade, and Cannonier just didn't really fade. And he stayed in there. He was still landing some shots, and he was landing more powerful shots. It's just a very, very close fight.
Yeah, I mean, is it worth me going back to watch?
Not, I don't know.
That should be the gold standard on if a fight's good or not. Like, would you recommend
Even
a-
after talking about it and knowing what
Yeah,
happened?
like you got to go back and
everything.
watch this fight. Like, if your fight's not worth going back to watch, I think.
No,
it's-
I mean it's not like a fight. It's
it
not.
wasn't
like,
worth watching in the first place. I don't feel bad. What I'm
Did you
saying is
watch
I don't
Alex
feel
Carreras, Bruce Leroy, his fight?
He versus Julian Erosa? Yeah, obviously.
Okay, see that fight, I would tell you to go back and watch.
Yeah, and I did
because
twice.
it was the finish was incredible.
Ooh, so good.
Just if you really like slow it down and look at what he did there, it was like the fucking Leon Edwards type shit. But it's so beautiful, dude. Just to hide kicks behind the fucking punch like that.
Yeah, especially on the same side. It's just
Yeah,
like,
well, it's because they slip and they feel like they're safe. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
that was cool. Very cool.
He's been around for so long now, and you
Bruce
think
Lee.
he's reached his potential, or he could still go higher?
How old is that?
He was very young, right, when he was on The Ultimate Fighter. Like,
Yeah, I think he was
super
very young. I think he's gotten a lot better. I think he's at the top of his game, at least so far. I don't know if he can get better, but he's very good.
He's actually 34.
34. So he's probably in his prime right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, you get a lot of these guys, they grow up in the spotlight. What was he, 24 when he signed to the UFC?
Yeah.
Like, you learn on the job against the best people in the world. And sometimes those guys come together later on in their careers.
Yeah. No, I 100%.
All right, so look, we got to talk about this. Our boy Jake Shields. This was wild. Jake's a lunatic, and I am such a fan of Jake Shields. Jake Shields came out to Skankfest the whole time.
We hung the whole time. He's a great guy.
The fucking man, dude. Such a cool dude. Big comedy fan, very big supporter of the things, specifically you. Like, you sort of introduced me to him. But he ended up just being a big comedy fan. Like, just he really loved it. Like, I just saw like he was enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy we're going to do it in Vegas again next year because he lives out there and he'll more than likely come out and hang out again. He was fucking great. But he posted a video on Twitter where he was getting into it physically with Mike Jackson, who is a 4-fight UFC veteran. And this was, I guess, at the UFC Performance Institute in Vegas. And I guess they're saying that Shields and Jackson have feuded over social media extensively on a variety of issues such as race, politics, and more, etc. So I didn't know that he had a beef with Mike Jackson. I don't know.
I did not know about this either, and I follow Jake Shields on Twitter and stuff, but I must have missed this. But
I don't really know anything about the politics of Mike
evidently
Jackson.
This guy, Mike Jackson, called him like a Nazi and a racist and all, you know.
He's like, you're at Skankfest.
All types of shit.
Recently, also a white nationalist, by the way.
Right. Okay. Which seems like a downgrade from Nazi, but whatever. Yeah. But anyway, and I guess the shit, you know, it is a little bit different when like two fucking UFC fighters are talking shit with each other. I think Jake was kind of like, all right, so you're saying fighting words now. Let's fight.
What weight does Mike Jackson fight at?
I do not know.
Do we know? Look that up, somebody. Because, I mean, you're right. There's something about fighters. Yeah.
He's over at welterweight.
Welterweight, yeah.
So it's a fair fight.
Fair fight. So there's something about when it's two fighters, it's just a weird thing. Like when they get into a fight at a press conference or they smack each other at a weigh-in, like it's assault.
Yeah, but it's just not the same.
But I go, nah. Like if somebody got arrested for it, like if some other dude called the cops because the other guy assaulted him, but you guys are fighters. It's okay. You assault.
It's like if
you assault, that's what you do.
It's like if me and you were just hanging out right before Legion of Skanks, and like you like made a joke about me, and I go, "Whoa, dude, you can't make jokes. Yeah. Someone call the cops. This guy's out here joking before we're even going into the room to do the podcast."
And it's also like it's just look, even as men. I just don't think I'd call the cops on somebody if I got into a physical altercation.
Listen,
now, look, I guess, could I be, if I got my ass beat in a street fight, I'm embarrassed, and then I see a cop, I'm like, hey, officer, it just fucked me up, man.
It'd be a hard thing to do.
But I couldn't imagine as a man being like, dude, I got into a fight, I got my ass kicked, then I'm going to get on the phone.
It's also not
call
like
the
someone
cops.
Like jumped you like on the street who you.
I got a girl arrested once for hitting me.
Yes, because you can't hit her back.
I can't hit that bitch back. She smacked me. I called her a fat cunt. And I put my chin out because I really wanted her to hit me. I don't know what it happens. This is not an ex-girlfriend. This is a friend of a friend, essentially, right? This chick, and she was hammered, and she was being a fucking fat cunt. And I was like, yeah, shut up, you fat cunt. And I'd put my chin out like that and just did a cunty. I knew, like, I was goading her into it, and she fucking went, boom, punched me right in the face. And once again, I wouldn't have called the cops on her. A cop happened to be just driving by slowly in his patrol car. And I was like, you know what? And it was just the moment, it was like, I couldn't hit her. I couldn't do anything, but I could be like, hey, officer, she just hit me. And the cops came out, and then they were like, yeah, did you just hit him? She was like, yeah, but he called. And then they were like, what? They just put her right in cuffs. She admitted it. She could have lied. She could have said he hit me first. She was just drunk and retarded. She had no idea.
Stupid and probably
she didn't understand how to play the game.
Before,
yeah, I've been here before.
This. Like, you're like, yeah. If you say yes, they have to arrest you.
Yes, if you say he hit me, I just fucked myself.
Yes, and they probably would have arrested you.
They would have easily arrested me. What are you, an idiot? She's like, he hit me. You start crying immediately. Like, whoa, officer, I didn't.
God, she could have turned that around on you so easily.
Two men, and we've all been into physical.
But and can I just also say, even aside from just that, I am kind of a believer of, okay, I want two things, and I'm not trying to be contradictory, even though they kind of do sound like they contradict each other. Number one, look, I'm not saying you can do what Jake Shields just did, or that he's right to do it. I get like that. It can't be the law that you're allowed to just fucking beat someone up for talking shit. At the same time, I feel like almost every guy knows what governs male behavior is that almost everyone knows, and women know this about men too, that there's something you could do where if another guy punched you in your face, they'd go, he had it coming. There's just lines that if you cross that line, if I walked out of here today, right now and walk out on the street and there's some guy with his girlfriend walking by and I go, yo, your girlfriend looks like a slut, and the guy punches me in the face, every single person watching that goes, you got what you deserved. You had that coming. Yeah. No one feels sympathy for you. And I do feel like this should be true in general with men, that like there's a certain line that you cross that are like fighting words,
like and
you shouldn't say that.
Professional fighters.
Now add in that they are fighters.
When it's fighter and fighter, I feel like that line is in a way different position than everyone else in the world, right?
Yeah.
That line is probably pretty close, and they know what sort of they're dealing with. Now, if you have two fighters like these two guys, they get into an altercation, and by the way, this is taking all of the politics out of it, right? This is taking like whoever's side, right? Like I don't know shit about Mike Jackson. I actually can't speak to the shit that he says because I don't know anything about him. I'm just saying you're a guy who's talking shit. You're a professional fighter, right? You got chumped on this fucking video. It's not like he got on top of you and beat you to where he fucking broke your nose, rearranged your face, put you in the hospital. No, dude, you got out grappled. Then he got on top of you, gave you a little, he snuffed you a little bit. It wasn't a big fucking deal. For you to call the cops after that, for you to try to assume, it's kind of lame, dude. You got fucking bested. You look like a bitch, right? So either fucking by the way, Jake the whole time is inviting him back. It's like, dude, come fight me. He was like, please, by all means, come fight me. I'll beat your ass. I haven't fought in the UFC in a very, very, very long time, right? This is a guy who's fucking, Mike Jackson. I don't know how far removed he is from the UFC, but I think his run was fairly recently. I just feel like without knowing anything else, you just look at it, you go, you look like a bitch. You're begging for his teammates to take. He's like, dude, get this guy off me. He keeps on saying,
Yeah.
And then you're gonna talk shit afterwards. Pull up the video. Actually, we didn't even watch the video.
Can somebody get this motherfucker off me?
It was just a couple little punches. I mean, look, it's just a little scuffle. For you to fucking try to sue another fighter over that, it's kind of just a bitch ass move.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree in general. I think, and he was fucking calling him a Nazi and shit like that. It's like, I don't know. You know who Jake Shields is and what crew he's in? Like, you kind of can't. Like, I mean, I felt this way to some degree with the Colby Covington thing with Jorge Masvidal. It's just like, look, you want to play this game where you're talking wild shit to someone, and you do just kind of know, like, there are some guys you just can't really talk to.
It's
like
also
that.
like, look, you're also jumping him. It's a little bit of a different thing.
No, that's true.
You're coming at him with a bunch of your boys.
No, Jake Shields went to an MMA gym and was like, I'm fighting you here
let's
right
go.
now.
Let's fight.
This is he went to the UFC. He went to the UFC Performance Center.
I love it.
Okay.
And apparently he's banned for life.
Yeah.
He's got his own gym.
He's fine. He'll be okay with that. The Performance Institute.
Yeah.
Pull up the. No, you already did pull up the video. I'm sorry. Pull up the aftermath. What's going on with it? It's I think Mike Jackson said he's gonna go the legal route. He's like, that's what you gotta do. You gotta hit these Nazis in their pockets. But it's like, yeah, look, is being called a Nazi enough to beat somebody up?
I mean, I'm never gonna say yes, it is. Look, even the example of like someone calling your girl a slut or something like that, you can make the argument that it's like, look, it's words. The words that you shouldn't like go do something fucking violent and get arrested or maybe hurt someone or hurt yourself or whatever. I'm just saying that there are certain lines that I feel like you shouldn't, that are fighting words to say to another man, and you shouldn't say them unless you're like prepared to fight that guy. Where exactly you draw that line, yeah, I think you could say calling someone a Nazi's over it. I don't know. It's also just like on social media, that shit is almost like completely removed. It's one of the things that's most toxic about social media is that you see there's tons of anonymous accounts on social media who love to kind of like talk, and non-anonymous accounts who love to talk shit to other men in a way that you know they never do face to face with another man. I'm not saying it's right to go fucking beat those people up or anything like that, but there's a reason why everyone who sees this is like, fuck yeah, Jake Shields, go fuck this dude up. Like, he's talking shit. You're like, okay, come fight me. He's like, no, I won't fight you, but I'll keep talking shit.
Jackson told MMA Fighting Steve Morocco on Friday afternoon that he plans on pressing charges for Shield after the incident. And then Shields told MMA Fighting that he spoke to an attorney who relayed that he has firm ground for defamation suit against Jackson for his accusations related to Nazism. Can you sue somebody for calling you a Nazi? Because I got a laundry list of people that I would love to sue then. Please.
I've been told you can.
Can you though? Please. Is that Vic?
Can I compare this to something? This is like a podcaster yelling at another podcaster for canceling a fight or something weird like that. That's the equivalent of this whole situation for me.
I couldn't imagine a situation like that ever happening.
Yeah, me neither.
Do you not want to talk about that?
I've talked about it enough on podcasts at this point.
Oh, you have.
I feel like
this is not a work.
Beating,
this is a real thing.
Beating a dead horse here at this point. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll give,
No, it's not beating a dead horse. I mean, if you were a horse, you would be dead right now because your leg's bad. They would kill you.
They would actually literally shoot me.
They'd shoot you in the head.
Damn it. No, I have an MRI scheduled for tomorrow morning, and I've told the story so many fucking times. I told Jason.
No, the story is about you and Jason Ellis like fucking hating each other.
Well, yeah. So I told him, hey, dude, I haven't been training for 2 months. I haven't trained since before Skankfest. I was like, find another opponent. I was like, I currently can't train. I don't know when I'm going to be able to train again. I'm still going to see the doctor. I still have to get an MRI. At this point, I wouldn't have enough time to get in shape and be ready for the fight. Even if tomorrow my leg was magically better,
which it's not. There's no scenario where it's magically better.
I would have issues getting ready for the fight with this little amount of time, and also taking 2 months off is not good. I was on a trajectory. I was doing really, really well. I was doing a lot of jiu-jitsu. I can't do that. So I told him that. He flips the fuck out. He starts cursing me out, calling me a liar, saying that I'm trying to duck him. So it was just the way he did it was just very disrespectful because I've been talking about Jason Ellis to our audience and bringing him into Skankfest, bringing him on our podcast, painting him like he's the fucking man, right? And then when something doesn't go his way, he's gonna just be like his audience they care about this shit. He's going to his audience, yeah, fuck this guy, he's a phony, he's a fraud. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Why am I wasting my time bringing you into my fucking world and building you up like you're the fucking man? Ellis Mania at Skankfest, it's not like he produces that. We pay for everything. We fucking pay him to be there. We create an event to keep his brand alive for the past few years. And I just took it personally. I was like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. I was like, it was kind of some fake LA shit. I was like, yeah, dude, the second.
Well, it's almost a weird thing. Like, what stands out to me about it is it's almost like, I could kind of see if you were like professional MMA fighters and this was a championship fight or something like that and being like, oh, you're going to pull out of the fight after all this commitment to it or something. But you're kind of just like, dude, this is just like a fun thing to do. I was like, oh, let me test myself against a guy who's like a semi-pro, fighter. And you're like, yeah, my knee's fucking, I can't do this if I'm at less than 100%.
Yeah, I'll lose.
That seems like very reasonable.
It's like, see, he's admitting that he's not. I was like, yeah, I'll lose if I'm not 100%. Well, I don't know even if I'm at 100% if I could beat him. I'm not 100% positive. I have no idea.
But that's kind of the point.
I want to see. I know I could beat Ryan O'Neal again. There's a reason I'm not trying to fight Ryan O'Neal again because what's the point? I'm not trying to see that is the difference between me and Jason Ellis. Jason Ellis is trying to take a fight that he knows that he can win. In his mind, he knows he can beat me. I'm not going to go fight Harrington. Like, what's the point? Like, and I'm sure, even if Harrington really thought he could fucking beat me and he put a year into it, I'm pretty sure I could smoke Harrington. So there's no interest. There's just a difference.
I also feel like
so for him to call me a fucking bitch or
this is not your profession. You're not a professional fighter. That it's like I think that if roles were reversed and you were like really into a fight and whoever you were fighting, like if Jason Ellis called you and went, dude, I fucking got real knee problems, man. It's just there's no way I'm going to be in shape.
He had a knee problem. He had a heart issue. He's pulled out of the fight twice.
But I feel like
push it off multiple times.
And I feel like your reaction would be like, shit, dude, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear you have a fucking knee issue. That sucks.
When he got fired from SiriusXM, I was the first guy to call him. I was like, dude, what's going on? How can I help? Let me know what I can do. Like, and look, he's apologized since. He went off on a whole tirade on social media.
All right.
But he's like trying to turn his fans against me, which that's just sort of what I took issue with. I'm going like, yeah, dude, like.
Well, he's kind of trying to damage
and
your
also
image.
Because he also knows. It's not even like he doesn't really believe that I'm not injured. That is crazy. He knows. He was at Skankfest. He saw firsthand. And whatever. I didn't want to spend a lot of time talking about it, so I won't. But where we're at right now is he went off on a fight. He got super emotional, and he called me up screaming, cursing, calling me names. It was way over the fucking top. So then I was just like, yeah, fuck you, dude. And then I started, I start screaming. We're screaming at each other. He ended up unfollowing me on all social media like a chick. And then he ended up apologizing this morning and being like, I got emotional or whatever, which is fine. I accept the apology. I hope we can put our differences aside.
I hope so too,
they come to Skankfest again.
Because I like
time.
Jason a lot.
So do I.
And I do think hopefully that can be resolved. Because he's a good dude. I think he got too emotional.
He got fucking emotional. Whatever it was, he had something maybe psychologically or emotionally invested in it that I didn't. This is just, this isn't like, maybe I didn't realize how much of my being involved was a part of like the event. Like I didn't, in my mind, I'm going, no, Jason, this is your event. No offense to Jason. If Jason's at Skankfest or not, our event goes on, our event is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like, And
You know
that's
what it is?
what.
Sorry, just to move this forward. You know what it is with this whole situation is that there's some people that can just go and like play a sport or fight and it's like a job. It's like, they got it down. And then there's some people that have to talk themselves up and get crazy about it. And that's what this situation seems like it was. I just mentioned it because I thought it was a funny gag to kind of mention that. I didn't mean to get into it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And you're right. I whatever. And also maybe he just looks at fighting in a different way. For me, it's not worth hurting myself. And we're going to see that if the MRI results come back, who knows what'll happen. The other thing is, nobody wants to hear us reschedule this fight again. It's so dumb. People hate me even talking about it. So if that ever happens, you guys will hear about it when it's like a month out or 2 months out, and we'll fucking promote it. Like we'll just go and do something, right? I don't know, but the doctor might tell me, hey, dude, you know what? Your knees are fucked. If you keep on training hard, you're gonna need surgery. That's something I would likely put off for a while, and I'm not gonna return to fighting anytime soon.
Yeah. It's not like you're like, oh, I have to get back in the cage. And
it's not how I make my money. It's actually at this point, it's probably a deterrent. I'll probably make more money touring and just podcasting if I take off touring now, which I'd have to do in order to train for a fight. It's a whole other element. But the best thing that came out of all of this.
Yes.
The best thing that came out of all of this is I put that video out about Ellis, and I was like, yeah, my knee's fucked. It is what it is. Guess who I get a text message from?
Rogan.
Joe.
Lee Iacocca.
He goes, oh, thank God you decided not to do this.
Joe fucking Rogan.
And what did he say?
Woo, I'm back, baby boy.
You're back. And what did he say? Thank God. You would have gotten killed.
No. He said, hey, dude, I got a knee guy. That's awesome. He was like, I'd love to touch you up. He was like, yeah. And then he sent me, it's that famous knee over toes guy. He was like, yeah, just reach out to him. I was like, Joe. I can't just reach out to the knee over toe guy. It's not really the way it works for not super famous people. It's crazy.
I have a better solution.
Just show up. You don't even got to make an appointment. They're always really happy. Yes, Vic.
My solution is that you should tattoo a triangle on your knee, and I bet you it'll start feeling better. I'm not even kidding at this point. I believe in the triangle that much.
Can you sue people for calling you a Nazi? If that's true, why are we not suing people?
I think you can. Whether you'll win or not is debatable. If you're a public person, I believe it's called defamation per se. That it's like if someone's clearly trying to damage you, you're like. Your
I would categorize this under defamation pers B or C.
It could be that.
Me personally.
Wouldn't you have to show that you've lost money? I feel like we've
that's the
only
idea
gained
of
you
money
can't
by people
quantify how
calling
many
you
Jews
Nazis.
aren't working with me. How do I do that?
Well, that's the idea of defamation per se, I think, is that you don't exactly have to quantify.
How would
person.
I know? Think about how much money
I believe that's what it's called.
the Jews control. Natalie, you're Jewish? Think about how much money the Jews control. And think about how much that I don't have.
All of it.
And that's how much money I've lost.
Think about all the trillions of dollars in the world. And then think about what Lewis has. So small in comparison.
It's very true. Very true.
Conspiracy.
Well, look, if you could sue, then let's just fucking go. Class action lawsuit.
Well, I don't think it would be a class action.
I don't know how things work.
Yeah.
Hairline fracture.
There you go.
Words. Sometimes the words just spill out of my face. I just say them. It's all good. Let's see. What else is going on here? We got a little bit of time here. Big stories. Please.
Can I address one thing? And Natalie, if you can hit the animation.
Things to address. Okay.
I'm not going to formally apologize, but I will say that my take last week on Ariel Helwani got a lot of people calling me names and saying things about me.
They didn't like it. People did not like Vic's take on Ariel Helwani.
What was it again?
See, Dave Dave just was trying to be a dick and disagree with anything I was saying. Vic, it felt personal.
I just decided that Ariel Helwani was fully to blame for this or half to blame for it. And I criticized him for his way that he covers MMA, and people didn't like that. They think he's a great guy. So I don't necessarily see that. I think there was a lot of haterade coming out of me, and I will admit that, and I should tone it down a little bit. But
These are some of the comments. That producer guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Dana tried to destroy Ariel's career, and Ariel responded back to the attacks.
I think people just like the guy because he's one of the first like self-made MMA reporters. And
Vic kind of sounds like he just doesn't like Ariel.
That's not going out on too much of a limb.
Dude off camera doesn't fully grasp the Ariel situation. Wow.
And it's Vic, by the way.
This next guy said, I liked the part where they talked about the fights.
Right. One of the few...
Something to consider.
One of the few comparatively I've gone... One of the few times comparatively I've gone, Lewis is right.
Gomez is ducking Ellis. Let's not skip that one.
Ellis. Quack, 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 quack. All right, that's it.
Enjoyed seeing Dave. Wait, go back.
Things to address. What else do you have to address, Victor?
Now, I just wanted to mention that and address that and let people know that I'm going to take it easy on Ariel and give him the benefit of the doubt and try to be fair when it comes to him.
I like it.
That is all.
Very good.
Let's see. Sorry.
And they love you, Dave, by the way. All the social media loves Dave.
No, not all of it.
My girlfriend's bringing friends out to the show tonight.
Okay.
And I'm like...
That's not good.
I just want to do... Well, no, not skanks. Afterwards.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
And I want to, like, impress her friends. Like, I can't, like...
All right, you could do my act.
Yeah.
As, just don't, like, make a habit out of it, but just for tonight, you could have it.
I can't shift down that boring. I don't really understand how.
Nah, you could do it.
I can really try.
You could do it. It's not that hard.
Yeah, dude. No, but like I don't get nervous ever getting on stage anymore. But now it's like it's the first time that a group of like friends from her like hometown.
Do you kind of like that you feel a little bit nervous? Can I tell you? Sometimes it makes me feel a little bit dead inside that I'm not nervous anymore. Like you're just
I don't like. I like.
It's a weird.
I get excited. It's not dead inside. I get really excited to get on stage when I'm doing stand up usually. So this is like I feel it's her friends. It's not even like she's brought a couple friends to shows out in LA before, but it's like a dancer friend. It's not like her old friends. Like her, like these are like the people she grew up with. This is like a big fucking step. And now I just like if I bomb. There's an uncomfortable thing where all of her friends are going to think that her boyfriend's unfunny.
It's also
and they're like hot chicks don't know the nuance of like.
It's also just a city spot where there is the possibility of bombing. Like it's almost impossible to bomb when you're headlining.
Right.
And you're going out to like your crowd. It's not that it can't happen, but it never has and probably never will. That you're actually bomb in front of your.
It's rare crowd. That I'll bomb in the city, but the only time I bomb, the last time I only remember once bombing in recent memory, right? And by most people's standards, it wouldn't even be bombing. By most people's standards, most young comics in New York would be like, "Oh, that's a pretty good set."
Yeah.
It was Patrick was in the room. The booker of the club is the first time he's seen me in years. Like and I fucking just, I was going well, like, and then he stepped in, and as he stepped in, it was just going so, I don't know what it was. I was like, let me try this brand new joke. I don't know what happened. I don't know where my mind went, but I told this joke about eating hooker pussy, and the audience just stared at me like, what are you talking about? And then I saw Patrick kind of look down and then like get up and leave, and I was like, ah. And that like whatever that nervousness is, like it just like that's the only time I felt that way in recent history. But I'm so nervous about that tonight. I have one shot to impress this girl's friends.
Yeah. Well,
don't do the hooker pussy joke.
I'm doing the hooker pussy joke.
You gotta do the hooker pussy joke, Lewis. You gotta redeem the hooker pussy joke.
By the way, I was taken aback by the whole dead inside thing, Dave. But you going up and you don't feel any nervousness anymore. That kind of scared me. That's really dark.
Well, it's just sometimes I'll just feel like it's a weird thing, like to not feel. No, I still in general I'm with Lewis. I still feel excited, but I've had like shows where it's just kind of like I don't know. You're almost just very removed from any of that. There used to kind of be this like fiery thing about doing stand up where it was like, oh, I don't know. You always kind of have this nervous energy before going on, and I've noticed having less of that.
Yeah. Let's see. What is Power Slap, Vic?
That's Dana White's new league. It's going to debut on TBS, and it's just guys standing across from each other and slapping each other really hard.
I hate it.
I do not.
It's one of my least favorite things when I watch these big guys and big girls fucking slap each other in the face. It seems like it hurts so. I would rather be punched so much than be just slapped in my chin. First of all, it's a palm strike. It's not just a slap.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, it's a slap, punch slap. You're getting the whap across your face, but it's also the palm is catching your fucking chin. People get knocked out on this all the time.
I just, for whatever reason, to me too, there's something about just standing and taking it, and you're not even like trying to defend yourself, that just makes it not appealing to me. Like it just feels like this is stupid.
Who are these people that just want to take a fucking slap?
I feel like this is like a bar thing.
Turn some volume on, please.
You go to a bar, you see people slap each other, and then laugh about it and have a few beers. Like, I don't understand how this
play some big buck hunter, go to that slapping table with that other guy.
That's it, man.
Dude.
By the way, I agree, this is not good for your head.
I hate it.
I understand fighting.
I hate it. I mean, look, fighting is probably more dangerous. Ultimately, you're taking more blows when you're fighting. An MMA fighter, boxer, whoever.
Yeah, sure.
This is unquestionably, out of all combat sports, the safest. I would say it has to be, right? Maybe point fighting, karate
Like
with no
or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, dude, look, he's bleeding, dude, off of a fucking smack. Your whole face gets swollen on one side. Can we see pictures of people the day after like a slap fight like this? I bet you they get
they're blown up,
dude. Fuck that noise. Fuck that noise.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. I hate
This is dumb.
Tom, can I power slap you right now? Please?
I don't like that Dana White's doing this. I feel like it's beneath him.
It hurts the credibility of MMA. And that's a hot take right there.
Look at that guy's face.
Credibility of MMA.
Go to that. Oh, fuck you, dude. Fuck that.
Why?
Fuck.
Why do this?
I don't know why it bothers me so much more than even bare knuckle boxing. I would rather look. Oh no. I would rather bare knuckle box.
I remember getting birthday punches one year. The last year I ever got birthday punches, I think I was like 13 or 14 or something like that. And it was like a thing we would do.
When
like
I met you, I was 19. I tried to give you birthday punches. You're like, dude, we're adults. And I was like, no, come on, dude. One for good luck.
I remember literally saying it was this year, I think 13 maybe, something like that. And it just got just everyone was like, all right, every one of your friends has to give you 13 fucking punches and then one for good luck because we're dudes. And it was fucking, so by the end of the day, I mean, I had just taken hundreds of fucking punches in my arm. Yeah. And my arm was just fucking crazy red and like swollen and shit for days. And I remember even at 13 just having to go, no, I'm not doing this anymore. This is like fucking retarded. And like literally the next year, they're just being like, if you punch me, I'm going to punch you in your fucking mouth.
Dude,
and that just
did you ever go blow for blow?
Blow for blow? What? Like punch in the face?
No, suck another dude's dick while he sucked your dick. Just 69.
On my birthday. I mean,
it's your birthday.
I mean, I wasn't doing the punches anymore. I had to do something.
No, you punch each other in the arm. You go, then I go.
Yes, when I was younger, I've done shit like that.
But we would.
It's a little bit different, though, than just sitting there and allowing people to punch you.
Who did I do this with? Where their mom got mad. Like, she was like, yeah, you're not, like, hanging out with this kid anymore because his arm was, like, so black and blue. But we would do it to each other. We would just keep on punching each other in the arm over and over. Like,
it's not my fault he was 6 and I was 13.
Until one of us gave up, you know? Coop, this is a very young male thing, right? Coop, how old are you, 22?
Yeah, 22.
When's the last time you went blow for blow with a friend?
Probably when I was, like, 18.
Right?
Yeah, but I haven't done it since.
You want to go blow for blow right now?
I'm all right.
Come on, Coop. Sitting down, blow for blow, jabs.
Hard as we can, jabs or
jabs.
Like shots in the...
Jabs in the arm. Sitting down. You can't get any power jabs in the arm sitting down. Coop, sit right here.
All right.
We'll do left arm jabs, blow for blow until one person quits.
What's the point of doing this?
What is going on?
Shut the fuck up, Vic. Here we go. I have something to address.
How about hug for hug, man? This is where the Democrats are right. Hug for hug. Why don't you guys just try to hug each other the best real quick? Aggressive hugs.
We're going to go blow for blow, left arms, right?
So left, which way do I sit then?
So you sit that way. So your left arm.
Go for the hug, Coop. You can't hear me, but go for the hug.
Okay, ready? Only jabs, Coop.
Okay.
That's the hardest you can punch?
I'm just pulling.
Harder, Coop.
Like when do we stop?
I'm hurting you.
I mean, like...
Come on, Coop. I got this.
Straight men are so gay. It's hilarious.
They really are the gayest.
This is ridiculous, by the way, but I want Coop to win.
What?
How long do we do this?
Until you quit. See, I'm getting the same spot. Coop, here's what Coop's doing. He's like, I'll never quit. But what's happening is I'm hitting him in the exact same spot over and over again. And this is going to start to hurt. Go ahead, Coop.
Power slap him, Coop.
Coop just fucking power slap.
Power slap.
Say, look, he's starting to get to him now.
Come on, Coop.
What's
Don't
the
let him-
point of doing this, Coop? Just
We
stop.
got it. No, we don't.
I don't know.
You can quit whenever you want to
Let
quit.
him go, Dave. Let him get
I
his
shit you
shot
not.
in
I will never quit.
I know Lewis isn't going to quit. It's just a matter of
never
how many
quitting.
more times he's going to punch you until you quit.
Wow, Coop's
right.
a
I'll
bitch.
stop.
Coop's a bitch.
I just-
Coop's a bitch.
I like that I just
Coop's a
logic
bitch.
Coop out of doing this anymore. You're just going to take 5 more punches and then quit.
He was just
think
gonna.
this is
What's the point of this?
I felt it. I felt his body breaking down underneath the power of my punches.
I think this is what you should have met Jason Ellis in the middle with.
Oh yeah, you guys
came
blow
blow
for
for blow.
this.
All right, mate. We'll go blow for blow. Dude, I'll pull out of the blow for blow fight.
You think it's the money? Was he going to make big money off this? Maybe it meant a lot to him.
No, I don't think it's the money. It's not like I'm this much of a draw. I think there was interest in watching me and him fight. I think he's got emotional. I think he's pissed, and I think he's not happy that the main event that he was planning fell apart. But from my perspective, I was like, dude, there's 4 months away. Like,
Yeah.
you're fine.
And even from his point of view, if you saw what just happened with Coop, he dodged a bullet.
Yeah, dude. Coop. That power was surprising, right?
I wanted to walk out with my arm still intact, honestly. So
For-
I had no choice.
For a seated jab, was that not pretty
That's
powerful?
not. That wasn't.
I
bad.
thought you were
think
generating good power.
It was
for a
also
seated
like the
jab.
first 3 were pretty manageable, but then you kept hitting it in the same spot, and I was just like,
It's precision.
how many 7 more of these? It would probably just be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's precision. It's not a big deal.
I would have
guys.
murdered you, Lewis. By
You
the
think
way.
you can go? You think you can go blow for blow with me?
You seen these ham bones I got? My hands are like twice as big as yours,
It's
man.
true.
Like I power slap you, X arm you, anything.
Vic's got two big old hams for hands. Put your hams together. I say to Vic when he's at a show. All right, real quick before we get out of here, middleweight, Conor McGregor to middleweight. I wanted to touch on that. That's interesting, right?
Is that official of some sort?
He said he's going to fight at middleweight, right? He's huge now. He's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It I'll tell you, it just makes no sense.
No, he'll get fucking smoked at middleweight.
Well, it's just the thing is, right? Conor was always kind of this. Conor was always like a fast twitch, like type fighter, very explosive. He was always kind of muscular for the divisions he was in. Conor had a problem with fatigue issues, with cardio issues.
Yeah.
Like that was always a
putting on more
problem in
muscle.
Conor's
Yeah.
career. Like Conor never really had fights where he started dominating later in the fight. Even in the Nate Diaz fight, I think the only 5-round fight he ever won. Mm-hmm. He won because he dominated the first 2 rounds and then survived the rest of the fight. It just seems like, so what you're telling me, you're going to be a crazy jacked, undersized middleweight now? So you're going to be going up against guys who are naturally much bigger than you, but you just have all this muscle mass on you. This is only going to hurt your cardio. And now you're going to be going up. Look, Conor was a humongous 145-pounder. And that was really where he was on his greatest run,
Yeah.
And good for him. He could cut down to the fucking weight and make it. Look, Conor at middleweight.
A really fun fight would be Conor versus Adesanya. I can see that fight happening. That could be,
But how would Conor possibly, just the natural size of those two guys? I mean, I don't know. It seems
I think
crazy.
the length and how good Adesanya is, how tricky he is, it would make it a tough fight for Conor. I think, but I also don't think that Adesanya knocks out Conor. I think that it ends up being a huge fun fight. Neither one of these guys are champions right now.
Yeah.
So I think there's something there. But outside of that fight, or maybe, who else would be really fun at middleweight? I don't even know anyone else who I'd really want to see Conor fight at middleweight.
Yeah, I really don't know.
All right.
Nick Diaz wants Adesanya, by the way.
Yeah, Nick Diaz, Conor McGregor at middleweight would be of like an interesting fight. I don't know.
Nick and Conor at middleweight, fun. I don't want to see Nick Diaz fight Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I guess it's not impossible now that he's not the champion anymore. But I would, if Nick Diaz is gonna fight. I know he's talking about coming back. I'm not I love Nick Diaz. I'm such a huge fan of his. I would just really hope he's like really in shape and really trains, and I would hope it's just a huge money fight. I'd want Nick to go get a huge fucking paycheck, something like a Conor McGregor or something like that. It's a fight that makes sense. But look, I will say Nick Diaz clearly there were clearly real issues with his last training camp, right? He shows up, couldn't make the weight a couple days before, didn't look like Nick Diaz has ever looked before, physically speaking, and still went out there and was like throwing combos and still looked like if he was in shape, he could still compete with Robbie Lawler, probably beat Robbie Lawler.
Right.
I'm not against him fighting again, but I think it should be a fight that makes sense. That's a big money fight.
Yeah. Nick, after that last performance, if it's a truly motivated Nick Diaz, it's still a big question mark if he could come back and compete, right? So there was a question mark then. He took a lot of time off, right? And it was 5 years, 6 years, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, can Nick Diaz still compete? He wasn't able to come back in shape. Well, that's all we know, right? He wasn't in shape. He didn't look like the old Nick Diaz. It was like, whoa, okay. So technically, shouldn't he be even more in question now? You know what I'm saying? Like right now it's like I don't know that Nick Diaz can come back and compete in the UFC. I just don't know that he has that in him.
The thing almost,
and I'm a massive fan.
Well, it becomes a thing where, in a sense, I don't know if it's more or less of a question mark. It becomes a thing where almost none of the questions are answered. Because we saw pictures of Nick 6 months before that fight where he's shredded, in incredible shape. Then he came into the fight not in incredible shape, and you kind of it's like, so what do you draw from that? Well, you draw from that he was still throwing combos and he still landed a lot of things, but you also could clearly see he wasn't the same guy. And it was also, look, for Nick Diaz to kind of like fall down and go, I'm done, I'm not fighting anymore, that's just not who Nick Diaz was as a fighter throughout his entire career. And that raises questions of like, dude, do you still really like want to fucking do this? So, you got a particular mindset you have to have.
So you're like, all right, after 6 years, he didn't look good. At this point, I just don't know. And Nick versus Conor, I don't want to see Nick get starched by Conor McGregor. That would suck. Either way, we got to wrap this one up. Shout out to Yo Kratom for supporting today's show, home of the $60 kilo. We'll be back next Monday with another incredible show. Merry Christmas
out and spend New Year's with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We just added a second show, 7:30 p.m. show at the Comedy Store. I think there was, last I checked, there was 14 tickets left. They have a countdown. So I know exactly how many fucking tickets are left, which is great. So, go get your tickets right now. That's for the 10:30 show. 12 tickets remaining for the 10:30 show. And then there's a 7:30 show that we just added. Lots of great comedians. Lots of other stuff coming up. So go to lewisofskanks.com or Comic Dave Smith.
ComicDaveSmith.com.
Yeah. Grab tickets for all of our live shows and more. Thanks for watching. We will be back next Monday. Merry Christmas, everyone.